Hey mountain bike fans, Coach Brian Russell with the Anne Arundel Blower here. Welcome to our 7th video in our series on the foundational mountain bike skills. This week we're going to cover bike and body separation, forward and back. And I'm pretty excited to have Levon Kirkpatrick, the head coach of the Anne Arundel Blower, lead us through that skill. But also pretty excited that we've got Nick Kendall from Gunpowder Mill Racers, who's put together a functional bike check video for us. We're posting that this week, so go check that out when you get a minute. A little more detailed than the safety check we do in these videos, something you want to do before you head out on your ride or when you get back home from your ride. So thanks to Nick for putting that together. So after a quick safety check here, we'll turn it over to Coach Levon, and then I'll join you at the end of the video to close us out. Hey folks, before we get into the training, we're gonna start each video with a safety check. We wanna make sure everyone is dressed appropriately for biking as well as the weather. Everyone has a helmet on and you've got enough water on hand for the remainder of the activity. We also wanna give that bike a pretty good function check. In this case, the A, B, C, Ds. A equals air. Do I have enough air in each tire? I want to check that out. B stands for brakes. If I apply both brakes, are both of those functional and my bike's not moving anywhere? C is equal to chain, cassette, and cranks. Is everything in working condition on the bike? And then finally, D for derailleur. I want to click that derailleur a couple times and make sure everything is working properly. And then last thing, I've mentioned this before, just whatever area you're doing these skills in, really you don't need a lot of area somewhere in your backyard, but if you're at a local park, make sure that activity is good per local rules and regulations. We don't want anyone getting in trouble while they're doing this. Just make sure you're aware of your surroundings and are in a good area to do these skills.
Hey mountain bike fans, Coach Levon here with the Anne Arundel Blower. In this video, I'm going to walk you through another fundamental mountain bike skill that gets us more comfortable being out of the saddle and lets the bike move more easily with the terrain. Much like the lesson on bike and body separation from side to side, the skill I'll cover today, bike and body separation forward and back, helps us with changes in elevation on the trail. Forward and back bike body separation are used to maintain vertical balance and stability while riding on any type or measure of incline or decline. Typically climbing or descending, forward bike body separation is used for inclines, the back position is used for declines. If you're following along at home with your bike, go ahead and stand to the side of your bike and demonstrate a ready position. That's the starting position we'll use for this skill. I'm going to turn my bike to the side so you can see how my body moves forward and back in relation to the bike. First, I'll demonstrate going forward. Notice how my hips are coming forward to the saddle and my chest is over the handlebars. And again, this position is generally used for when we're climbing terrain. Next, I'll start to move backward on the bike and see how my hips are moving behind the saddle and my chest comes closer to being over the saddle. We usually move backward like this when we're descending terrain. Important to note that in moving either forward or backward, the angle between my hips and shoulders doesn't change. My chest doesn't drop down or get higher when executing this movement. So again, move forward with hips forward of the saddle and chest over the bar, and without changing my hip to shoulder angle, I can move backwards, getting my hips behind the saddle and chest behind the handlebars. Let's take a look at that in motion. Now that I've told it and showed it, why don't you ask it? What questions do you have about the bike body separation forward and back?
When climbing, how far forward do I shift my body weight?
Great question. We'll cover this in greater detail in the next video on climbing, but really, you shift your body as far forward as you need to maintain balance and your desired pedaling cadence. It comes with some experience to find the best position for you, so my best advice is to get out there and ride to see what works best for you. Great question, Sophie. Thanks for asking. Okay, folks, it's your turn to do it. Here are some of our athletes demonstrating bike and body separation forward and back. Good ready position. Nice level pedals. Good separation. Nice balance.
Nice. Yep. Pedal forward.
Now that you've had a chance to do it, let's review it. What questions do you still have about bike-body separation forward and back?
Coach, I'm having some trouble maintaining balance when moving forward and back. Any advice on how to improve that?
If you find yourself struggling to maintain balance while executing this skill, think about a couple of things. First, make sure you're in a low ready position. Being too high might cause you to sway a bit over the bike. Second, check your speed. At low speed, the bike might be moved around a bit more by the condition of the trail, and a little bit of speed might help you stay aligned on the bike. Great question. Let's take a look at a drill you can do on your own or at a practice to help improve your bike-body separation forward and back. So a drill or game you might be able to use for this is to have a bike-body separation prop such as the one behind me. You've already seen Aiden ride over it earlier in the video. Something you can do is raise the middle to make your up and down angle a little steep to increase the difficulty or the amount of separation needed to get up and over an obstacle. In this section of the video, we'll have a series of riders performing bike-body separation just slightly incorrectly. See if you can catch the error and practice calling out how you'd give positive correction to do it. Did you catch the error? When the athlete moved back in the saddle, she had her arms locked all the way out. We want to maintain some bend in the elbows to give ourselves some cushion from the bike moving underneath us. Second, when moving forward, she was very high over the handlebars and looked like her arms were locked out again. We want to stay in a low ready position and keep our hip and shoulder angle constant. We could encourage her by saying, stay low, or bend in the elbows to help remind her of those points.
And that brings us to the end of our 7th video on bike and body separation forward and back. Special thanks to Levon Kirkpatrick, head coach of the Anne Arundel Blur, for leading us through that skill. And thanks to our other athletes who helped demonstrate the skill for us this week. Stay tuned, last video coming up. Next week we're going to introduce everyone to climbing and recommend you check out the show notes, post any questions down below, and stay tuned for that video next week. Until then, enjoy that riding, everyone. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week.